I'm Edye Ellis. Today at home, veterinarian Dr. Craig Pryor shows you some simple and unusual household remedies for your canine and feline companions. Household hints expert Donovan Fondre sweeps you off your feet with some great advice about dusting. And project designer Jean Hamilton gives you a few hints for stripping wallpaper. Ellis, welcome to the show. Having a sick dog or cat at home is almost as disconcerting as having a sick child because we simply don't know what to do to provide relief for our pets. Well, here with some remedies is veterinarian Dr. Craig Pryor and, of course, his friend Bowser. Welcome.
Hey, Edye. Thank you.
Yeah. You know, my dog, one of my dogs, I have two schnauzers, one is diabetic, and she sometimes has seizures. Yeah. Well, I now know to keep Karo syrup or honey on hand to give her some right away. But
correct.
But I was scared to death before I learned that. I called the vet. I could barely talk, and he told me what to do.
Yes, sometimes blood sugar drops too low. You have to give her some Karo syrup immediately and get her to your veterinarian to find out what's going on. It's very important you know that. And there are a lot of other things that you can do at home to help your animal out in the immediacy of the situation, as long as you then immediately get to the veterinarian. And there's some things you can do in the, if there's a little bit of a lag phase before you can get there, that you can help your animal.
And they can be life-saving, can't they?
Exactly,
really?
exactly. The first thing you can talk about is just general good health. I take vitamins every day. Why shouldn't your animal take them as well? I mean, you still feed them a good diet, but why not give vitamins? And you can buy specific vitamins for pets. You've got liquid vitamins. You also have vitamins that you take yourself. Now, if you consult your veterinarian, a lot of times the vitamins you buy from the health food store may be very appropriate for your pet.
But always consult with your veterinarian first.
And a lot of people don't like to have poke pills, poke liquids down their animals' throats, so you can get the chewable type that they just love to eat.
Oh, well, Bowser certainly
does. She'll eat them all day,
Yes,
so she gets...
But I'm a good dog, so I'm a
2 of those a day.
Yeah, that's great.
So, very easy things to do. And a lot of people are getting on this health food kick and giving all kinds of herbs and remedies to their animals, which can be very appropriate. I mean, things like foxgloves, things like that. But the important thing is you should talk to your veterinarian first. There are a lot of veterinarians that are doing the natural type treatments now, and it's all dose dependent, so you need to know what to give and in what amounts.
Because you certainly don't want to overdose, thinking, well, I take X amount, so can my pet. Not the same ball game at all, is it?
Exactly. And there are a lot of other things lying around the house. A lot of animals get digestive problems. It's a very, very common ailment. Most people have a Pepto-Bismol or similar product at home. If your animal's having diarrhea and you cannot get it in, it's the middle of the night, you can't get it into the veterinarian right then you can get some. And depending on the size of your dog, consult your veterinarian first so you know what to give at home. But you can draw some up and pop it in your dog's mouth about 4 to 5 times a day.
So any kind of antacid or anti-diarrhea?
Yes, there's an anti-diarrhea. We have an antacid if you've got a dog that's just very upset stomach, producing a lot of gas. The milk of magnesia, draw some of that up, you give it to your dog as well. It's going to help it out in that type of situation. Dogs and cats will both eat anything they can find. I mean, a lot of things around the house.
I think they live to eat, don't they? I mean, really?
Oh, yes. And certain things, part of the treatment is activated charcoal, and depending on what they eat, you sometimes have to use very high doses, which your veterinarian will administer via a stomach tube. A lot of people will actually have the capsules lying around the house, the charcoal capsules, and all they got to do is call the veterinarian and find out what to give them. But oftentimes, before you give something like that, the animal needs to throw up first. How do you make your animal throw up? Well, most people have peroxide lying around the house. They just grab the bottle of peroxide, a couple of tablespoons, just basically open the dog's mouth, tip it in.
Oh, wow.
Make the dog drink it. If the dog hasn't thrown up in 5 minutes, give it some more. All right.
In my case, in the case of Min, my dog, just put her in the car. It's instant. I can guarantee that she'll throw up.
We'll talk about that in a minute too. The other thing you can use is just table salt. Teaspoon to a tablespoon. Open the dog's mouth up, stick it way down the back of the throat. Close the dog's mouth up and make it swallow it. It'll make them throw up.
Okay, and you want that, because whatever it is that's irritating the stomach, you want it out.
Especially if something like chocolate. Chocolate is highly toxic to animals.
Yeah. And yet people just think, oh, I'll treat my dog and give...
I love it. Why shouldn't they? Well, you're killing them with kindness.
Exactly.
And your question was, you take your dog on rides and it throws up every time. Well, Dramamine most people have lying around the house. Consult your veterinarian before you give it, but you can give Dramamine to animals to stop car sickness or motion sickness.
Interesting.
The other common thing people have lying around the house is aspirin. They also have acetaminophen and ibuprofen.
Right.
Never, ever give acetamin or ibuprofen. Both of them are toxic to dogs and cats.
Oh, that's a great tip, because people would think, well, you know, do that instead of aspirin.
That's right.
Thinking you're protecting your dog.
Aspirin is the way to go.
Okay.
Should give aspirin to dogs. Do never give aspirin to a cat unless you've consulted your veterinarian first. They're a lot less tolerant to it, and it could make them sick. But, you know, arthritic dogs, give them aspirin. It will help them out. The veterinarian will give you a dose. Now, during the summer, we get a lot of dogs go out playing in the woods, get skunked. And it's a horrible experience for the dog and for the owners. And people always call up saying, oh, well, how can I get rid of the skunk smell? Veterinarians do have proper products to help you out with that. But if you can't get to them, then get yourself some tomato juice, put your dog in the tub, just like you're going to shampoo the dog, and you're going to get the big old can of tomato juice, you're going to pour it down your dog from head to toe, and you're going to rub it into the dog, and you're going to let it soak.
Right, Bowser's looking at you and said, no, not this week.
Not this time, please, no. You're going to rinse the dog off, and then you're going to repeat it. And you're going to repeat it as many times as you need to get the skunk smell off, and then you're going to give her a proper bath.
And because you never know when your pet is going to have an encounter with a skunk, keep cans of tomato juice on hand.
Yes.
So you don't think, oh, gee, I wish I had some. Well, be prepared.
Yes, and just once you finish using it, don't use it to cook with.
No.
Ruin your food. Most people have sunblock lying around the house. A lot of animals have very non-pigmented noses, a lot of dogs do, and they can get terrible sunburn from it, which can lead to skin problems as well. And you can actually just get some normal sunburn cream, put on your finger, and rub it into the nose.
And it doesn't irritate, it doesn't bother them, it really does protect.
It does protect. Okay. A lot of them will try and lick it, so just make sure you rub it in really well first. And a lot of dogs get dry skin. You can add a little aloe vera to the shampoo when you're shampooing them for dry skin as well. It'll help out as well.
Speaking of shampooing, how often should we
I don't recommend it more than once every 2 weeks, otherwise you dry the skin out.
Okay.
And most people have styptic powder around, especially men who shave. And if you're trimming your dog's toenails and you nick one, you wet a Q-tip down, stick it in the styptic powder, and then press it to the bleeding toenail, and it'll stop it from bleeding. Okay. All right. Bowser, thank you, honey.
Bowser,
you've done a wonderful job.
Bowser's such a good Good.
We might just get Biscuit here.
Now we have
a little kitty cat.
In case you have a cat and your cat gets sick.
And you know, there's some other things you can do. A lot of people believe in brewer's yeast, and brewer's yeast to help control fleas. There's a lot of debate going on about it. It's not going to hurt. It definitely helps the skin out a little bit. So a lot of people like to get some brewer's yeast and sprinkle some on the cat food or the dog food.
Want it, they will ingest it.
So they'll ingest it, and it helps supposedly with fleas. I'm not
you know,
too sure about that.
And you know, as a veterinarian, there are some seasons where the flea problem is just so bad that it's just awful. And ticks as well.
Yes, and the other thing you can do to help fleas out, especially with outdoor animals that have dog houses, cat houses, cedar bedding. Ticks and fleas really don't like the cedar, and so it helps to keep down the numbers in the pet's bedding. So that's very, very beneficial. Last thing you can do is for cats with hairballs is you give them laxatone or some other malt remedy for hairballs, and you just put some on your finger, open up their mouths, and wipe it on the roof of their mouth. And they'll swallow it, help get rid of the hairballs. Little remedy. Most people have some of this lying around at home.
That's great. Thank you so much. I think you've taken the fear, you know, out of most of us who, when we have an emergency involving our pets, we really panic. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Please stay with us. We'll have more when we come back.